Meet the perfect Patello family. Patrick, Danelle, with another one on the way, Javaya and Janaea. This is a nice family who live in a nice new house, on a nice street, in a nice new suburb. But they throw away twice as much rubbish as most other families. And that's not nice. We're tracking back 6 months' worth of their terrible trash to wake them up to their wasteful ways.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
117 bags of rubbish here. All yours.
Oh,
6 months' worth of rubbish. With the expertise of myself, Francesca Price, and the brawn of biobuilder Tristan Glendinning, we're going to turn them around. That's 117 bags over 6 months. We're going to have to do something about that. You mightn't pick these four as criminals, but that's just what they are. Eco-crims. In fact, with the amount they toss out, think of them as landfill louts. Ex-rugby player Patrick and fitness freak Danelle are motivated people. Go-getters, goal-setters. But when it comes to being clean and green, they just don't give a toss.
It's more just laziness. We know what we should be doing.
If it has a direct impact on our family, then we'll look at changing it. If it doesn't, then it doesn't really bother us.
Well, it sure bothers us. We've only got 3 weeks to stop their wasteful ways using a cash prize as an incentive. Have a look at this. Look at that.
Ooh, that stinks.
You guys have so much rubbish. You're actually having to pay someone to come and take it away every week, aren't you? And your bin is twice the size of any normal wheelie bin. Now, half of all that rubbish is made up of one thing. And it's these.
Oh.
Here you go.
No, thanks. You can have that.
Now, Danelle, how many do you think you go through every month?
90, 80?
Tristan? Show them.
Ooh, that stinks.
Check this out. 160 nappies for one
That's
baby.
an enormous amount of nappies.
You are kidding me. We got to stop feeding her.
I can cope with one, but not 160.
That's really gross, actually.
New Zealand babies use 10 million disposable nappies every week.
I don't generally worry about throwing out nappies because we've got a big bin and they just kind of go straight in there and I never see them.
And these nappies are made of plastic. And plastic comes from crude oil. Every disposable nappy uses a tablespoon of crude oil.
Check this out. Oh, look at that. Aljavia uses 4.5 litres for 1 month.
That's a lot of oil for just one baby. And I'm sure, as you guys know, oil is running out. So we have to be so careful how we use it. Would you have any idea that it takes that much oil?
No,
not
I
at
didn't even know it had oil.
And now you, Patrick, there's one other thing that I'm seeing a lot of in your rubbish, and that's paper. Now have a look at this. Tristan.
Look at this. We've got 6 bins of paper you could have recycled for 1 month. 1, 2.
This is going to be a mountain of paper.
6.
Almost a fifth of all household waste that goes to landfill is paper, and there's absolutely no need for it to be there.
We do see the neighbours recycle all their paper, but it's never prompted me to kind of recycle mine, unfortunately.
So, Patrick, you're in charge of recycling from here on in, OK?
Yep.
We're going to see some changes.
Leave it to me.
Good. Now, out of all the rubbish, guys, how much do you think actually needed to go to landfill this month?
This month, probably about 10, I would have thought.
OK, Tristan, how many did need to go?
Just 4 bags.
Less than a quarter of their rubbish needed to be binned. That means only 24 bags over 6 months had to go to landfill. Guys, I want you to think about this. It's the smallest member of your family is creating half of all the rubbish. And another quarter of it is paper. Now, that's 3/4 of everything that you throw out that we could get rid of in another way. If we can do something about these two things, we're not only going to be helping the environment, but we're going to be saving you guys a lot of money.
After seeing all of that, I feel absolutely disgusted.
I just can't believe that that amount of rubbish can come from a family of 2 people and 2 kids, and one's only 15 months old.
It's not just lashings of landfill space this family is taking up that make them a worry. To keep their home supplied with everyday amenities like water, electricity and fuel, these eco-crims are burning through precious resources that all come from the natural environment. With a unique eco-calculator, we've measured that resource use and translated it into an actual land size the Botellos are using, what we call a household footprint. It's bound to be larger than their section.
Have you any idea how big your household footprint is?
No idea.
Absolutely no idea.
No? Well, your household footprint is 33 times the size of your property.
You are kidding me.
That's how much land it takes to keep your lifestyle going the way it is at the moment.
Gosh, that's shocking.
That's amazing. In a bad way.
Amazing in a bad way. Would you like to do something about that?
Yes,
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yes, we need to.
We're going to put right their recycling wrongs and rein in their rubbish, starting with their nightmare nappies.
This is how many clean, disposable nappies you guys are using every month at the moment. That's 160 nappies there. Now, with another one on the way, that's going to at least double, isn't it? Now, the thing about nappies is there's no perfect solution. Whatever system you choose, it's going to have an environmental impact.
Here's how the 3 main types of nappies rate when it comes to time, money and the environment. Disposables, the easiest option, but you pay the most and they create the most waste. Reusables, you have to wash and dry them, and although they're expensive up front, they can save you money in the long run and they create little waste. And then there's the old-fashioned cloth nappies. They are the most work, but they're the cheapest and they create the least waste.
Now, I want you to try a new system. It's cloth. You look a bit dubious.
A bit worried.
But cloth nappies have come a long way since the old cotton squares and the big safety pins. Now, the one that we're going to introduce you to today looks very much like a disposable. Wow. They're actually shaped like a disposable to fit the baby, and then they've got these lovely nifty little Velcro fasteners as well. But the key here is you do need a plastic outer.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to get soaking, all right? I mean, we have it a lot easier today than our mothers did, don't we?
I was going to say, they've definitely evolved since 1960.
Yes. I mean, they are extra hassle. Cloth nappies don't last as long as disposables. You are going to need to change them more often. But financially and environmentally, they're going to be far better for you. This system costs $385, OK? But when you consider that you guys spend $800 a year on disposables, it's going to be a big saving. And then you can reuse them for the next baby, and the next one, and the next one.
No, just the next one.
Just the next one.
The scary thing about disposables is we don't know how long they take to decompose. So even if their new baby lives to 75, its nappies won't have begun to break down. There's still an environmental impact from cloth nappies, but the way you wash and dry them can reduce it. Soaking nappies in cold water can prevent stains from setting, and by using 1/4 cup of baking soda and vinegar, you'll avoid nasty chemicals on your baby and the environment.
OK, the next thing is drying them. Now, do you use your dryer much?
Yes, I do. I use it lots, actually.
How often?
Probably 1 to 2 times a day.
Danelle, that is probably costing you about $5 a week.
Yeah, if not more. I know that my power bill's doubled.
Now, why aren't you using your washing line?
It's just where it is. It's in a damp, shady place, and the type of line it is, the clothes just wrap around it so they don't dry.
OK, well, I've got a suggestion. Let's move that washing line to a sunny spot, OK?
Okay.
Their badly positioned washing line is costing the Botellos over $260 a year in dryer time, so moving it is well worth a couple of hours graft.
I'm going to leave you to it, and I'll start on the other one down there, all right?
OK, you get started.
That's the easy way out, isn't it, buddy? I bet I'll beat you. I'll beat you. Look at the water, mate. Oh, no. Disgusting. Nah, just joking, mate. It's just the water in the pipe. How'd you going? Betcha.
Coming up,
Oh, yeah.
Danelle gets some new additions to the family. But will they be welcome?
Where are you putting those?
The Botellos happily shove anything anywhere with no thought for where it's ending up.
The positive things that I do for the environment. You've got me stumped.
Former rugby player Patrick Patello goes to extraordinary lengths to dodge recycling paper. Does he even know what can be recycled?
How are we doing, Patrick?
Oh, looks like paper to me.
We put him to the test.
I think that about does me.
So this is your pile of what can't be recycled.
Well, actually, no, I've had second thoughts.
What? OK, clever clogs, you were right. In fact, all of this can be recycled, which has to beg the question, why were you not doing that before?
Probably just the convenience thing of throwing it in the rubbish, not having to think about it, and just chucking it all in.
Sheer laziness, Patrick, wasn't it?
You could call it that too.
Yeah. All of this could be recycled, and you knew that. The only things that can't be recycled is paper with food on it, anything that's been contaminated by food, and also actually waxy paper like this. So that's like the back of stickers can't be recycled. Oh, they actually have to go in the bin. And the thing is that this is the single biggest thing missing from recycling bins in New Zealand. People put their newspapers in, but they forget about the rest of the stuff. So I don't want to see any of this in your enormous wheelie bin anymore.
Producing recycled paper uses 64% less energy, 50% less water, 74% less air pollution than making new paper. Paper isn't Patrick's only eco-crime. He travels an hour and a half every day to and from work, burning through thousands of litres of petrol every year, adding to the family's bills and his stress levels.
Almost half of all New Zealand's carbon dioxide emissions come from private cars like this one. So I want you to try out catching the train, OK?
OK.
Catching the train will cost you the same, and it will take the same amount of time, but you can spend that hour and a half in the train reading, working. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
You're going to have to say goodbye to your car.
For every 10 people in New Zealand, we have 7 cars, giving us the 4th highest car ownership rate in the world, only behind the States, Italy and Australia. With Patrick's car parked up for good, we're about to rip Danelle away from her waste disposal.
Everything goes down there. We always have lots of leftover food. We just shove the whole lot down there, so I probably use it at least 15 times a day with just food waste.
How much food do you think you're putting down there every month?
I have no idea.
Well, we do know.
Oh, yuck.
That is
disgusting.
That is 26 kilos of food that you would have put down your waste disposal this month. So every time you're using your disposal, this is what's happening. You're putting your food in, just like we've got here in the food processor, then pouring in all this lovely clean water, put the lid on, and press the button. Now, what do you think happens to all that gunk?
I have no idea.
It goes to the treatment plant, OK? And there, they separate all the food from the water, and then they send the food to landfill. So you might as well just have put it into the rubbish in the first place. Now, there are 2 issues with this. First of all, you're wasting all that lovely clean drinking water, just flushing that food down there. Secondly, all that food has got fantastic nutrients in it, and it could be going on your garden. So we want you to stop using that waste disposal, all right?
Okay.
And we've got another solution for you instead. So I need you to hold this for me. And this is the way we're going to get rid of your food scraps from now on.
Oh, yuck.
They're joining the family. Say hello. They're your new friends.
So disgusting. Where are you putting those?
They're going to go in the worm farm.
I don't know which is worse, the food scraps or these.
The worm farm will reduce food scraps to 5% of their original size. The byproducts, worm wheeze and worm castings, are fantastic fertiliser for the garden. You feed the worms and they feed the soil. We've discovered the Patellos have some inefficient ways of keeping their place cosy. The wood burner overheats the living room, meaning they have to open windows, but the bedrooms are still cold, causing Danelle to switch on a heater.
I can't believe that. We're going to have to do something about that because you're letting heat out of one room and using power and using money to heat up other rooms. That's completely insane.
We're going to install a heat transfer system to take the excess heat from the living room and pump it into the 3 cold bedrooms. Heating isn't the only thing drawing power from this family. Their modern house has over 35 lights, costing them over $300 a year. Energy-efficient bulbs are one of the easiest and cheapest things that you can do in your home to save power and money. Although they cost more than standard bulbs, they more than pay themselves back by using 80% less power than a normal bulb and lasting 10 times as long. And the Botello's clothesline is finally seeing the light in a new sun-drenched location.
Voila.
I believe that by being environmentally friendly, you guys can save money. So, I'm prepared to match you dollar for dollar on any saving that you make over the next 3 weeks.
Are you serious? Wow.
And then we'll multiply that over a year and give it back to you in cash.
Wow.
You're kidding me.
So when we come back, this bin could either have a few coins in it or it could be full of hundreds of dollars.
That's awesome.
It's up to you guys. OK, so Patrick, no more paper in that giant bin of yours, OK? Danelle, stay away from the disposable nappies.
I will, don't worry.
And Janaea, can you keep an eye on Mum and Dad, OK? Yep. Right, we'll see you in 3 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See yous.
See, no more lights for 3 weeks and those worms are going to be fat.
But one little saboteur could cost this family dearly.
So it's probably been on, all day for a few days.
3 weeks ago, we discovered the perfect Botellos had some nasty ways. We talked tough.
Sheer laziness, Patrick, wasn't it?
We dismantled the old. And we drilled in the new. But the real work of changing lifelong habits was left to them. So how perfectly are the Botellos performing?
Okay, those are the scratch to go to the worms. So.
Danelle and Janaea have the worms well fed. Patrick has the paper down pat. But recycling isn't the only thing he's got on track.
Taking the train to work's been a blessing in disguise, really. It's quite a convenient way to travel. It gives me a bit of time to unwind on the trains as well. And it saves a lot of time sitting in the traffic, getting a bit stressed.
Back home, Danelle's getting used to some new habits of her own.
The easiest is probably the nappies. The first day I was like, no, I'm not using these. But after that, I think just getting used to the fact that they're not disposables. They're so easy to use. You just kind of soak them in the bucket and they're out on the line. They don't mark or anything. And it dries in that place within an hour or so. So I haven't used my dryer once.
Danelle is determined to make power savings wherever she can. But one small force is working against her.
JV has been turning the heated towel rail on. 3 days in a row we've come home and found it on. JV, So it's probably been on, all day for a few days.
But Javaia isn't the only one to be raining on Danelle's parade. 10-year-old Janaea is catching her using disposables on her spy cam.
I've caught Mum using those plastic nappies in the daytime.
And Patrick doesn't come off unscathed either.
He's taken his car instead of the train.
Now 3 weeks are up, will the Botellos own up to any of their shortfalls? And will they have done enough to get any of our cash?
Now, Patrick, we set you the task of catching the train to work 5 days a week. How did you go?
I haven't been able to do it on a lot of occasions because I needed my car for client visits and things like that. But the times that I have, it's been really, really good. A bit of time just myself on the train.
Well, Patrick, we know that you only caught the train twice a week.
Really? Jeepers.
Have you got any good reason for that?
He sets his alarm because he says, I've got to catch the train in the morning. And then his alarm goes off and I wake up and go, you've got to catch the train. He's like, oh, no, tomorrow.
You're a nut, man.
Because you were at work all those times.
Yeah, but I'm still, just because you're ringing me, I'm out. I don't need to justify it.
I hate to cut into a really good argument here. We've been collecting your rubbish for the last 3 weeks. Well, in that first week, we collected 7 disposable nappies. In week 2, you had 9 disposable nappies in your rubbish. And by week 3, there was 15 disposable nappies. So that suggests to me that your commitment wasn't absolute there, that you were slipping the further and further it was that we'd gone away.
Javia she did have a throat and ear infection at one stage, and I think she was just grizzly and grumpy and she was sleeping a lot. I did use a couple more disposables.
So it's not a sign that you're slipping?
No, not at all, no.
Well, you've done pretty well, guys, but I have to say there's one thing I am really disappointed to see, and that's that big jumbo bin out there. Why is that still there?
Think about it, yeah.
Well, the thing is, by not thinking about it, it's cost you money, and we had to take that off your savings.
With an empty bin they're still paying for, here's hoping they've made enough changes to see some results. 3 weeks ago, the Patello's household footprint, which translates power, water and fuel usage into actual land size, was 33 times bigger than their property.
Now, you made some effort over the last 3 weeks. What do you think's happened to that?
20 times?
So you think it's definitely come down?
Yeah.
Well, it has come down from 33 times the size of your section to 22 times the size of your section.
Oh, wow.
So that's a good effort. That's almost a third off. But I have to say, Patrick, had you caught the train every day, that would have come down to half the size of the original footprint.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even though Patrick only went by train 2 days out of 5, if everyone made a reduction like him, we would reduce our country's total carbon emissions by 15%.
Now the money. When I was here last, I said I'd match you dollar for dollar on any saving that you could make over 3 weeks, and I'd project that forward over a year. Now, there were a few problems, wasn't there? You forgot to take that jumbo bin back, and that had a big impact on your savings. But in this bin, I have $1,250.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's wicked.
Eat your heart out, don't come back.
Patrick, I don't think you deserve all of that.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
Enough for a train ticket.
The Patellos might not have reached their savings potential, but $1,250 from changing nappy systems, switching to energy-efficient light bulbs and turning off their heaters and dryers is well worth the effort.
The biggest thing I'll take away from the show is basically knowing that my family can make a change to the environment, and if you think of how many other families out there, and if they kind of take a leaf out of our books and just take a bit of time to recycle things and to do the basic things that we were shown to do, then the whole world will be a better place to live.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.